Entitled Mother story where she's in a car dealership and she's trying to buy a car when she gets this brilliant idea to start messing with OP and steal something very valuable. Guys, this story's wild. Thanks for tuning in. Let's get right to it. Hey y'all. Long-time lurker, first-time poster. My boyfriend's power is out and I have no one else to vent to, so please listen to my tale of woe. I work at a car dealership as a receptionist. One of my duties being greeted customers when they enter. I'm a professional artist on the side, and I've been busy with some commissions lately, so since it's not busy at the dealer, I started working on my iPad mini. It's old and I'm working on upgrading, but I currently can't afford to. So I live with it despite the battery life being really short, and I have to basically keep it plugged in at all times. During my lunch, I was in the waiting area doing more work when a kid, a little girl no older than 4, came up and watched me work. This happens a lot when I draw in public, and usually the kids just ask a lot of questions. But this nice girl was very quiet, and just had this look of amazement. So I just let her be. Her mother, the entitled mother in the story, was nearby at a salesman's desk, working on purchasing a new car, which is a long and no doubt boring process. The salesman working with her walked away, which at my dealership they do very often to retrieve paperwork, talk to the finance managers, etc. She looks over at me and her kid and asks her, quote, "What are you looking at?" Her kid points at my screen and says she's painting puppies. I was working on a Twitch emote of a streamer's dog. I sort of show my screen to entitled mother, and she then asked her kid if she wants to draw, which the girl excitedly says yes. I expected entitled mother to pull out on a paper or pencils, or at least ask if I can get some for her, but she just looked at me expectingly. When I realized she was waiting for me to hand her my iPad, I said, quote, "Oh, she can't use mine, but I can get her a notepad and pens." But apparently that wasn't good enough. She sighs and says, "Just let her draw a little bit, I'm almost done here anyways." Which I knew for a fact wasn't true. They were waiting on a bank approval for a loan, which can take anywhere between 5 to 30 minutes. And even then, they'll be here longer for finance paperwork and detailing the vehicle. I start to explain that this is part of my work, and she scoffs, saying I'm just doodling puppies, and it was selfish that I would not let nice girl doodle on my device. Poor nice girl was just looking at her hands, looking quite embarrassed. I then pretended my lunch was over and got up to spend the rest of my lunch at my desk. I couldn't see her behind a huge truck on display, but I can hear her grumble to my nice girl about who knows what. Whatever, pretend like I did not hear so I don't mess up this sale for my coworker. Sometime later, nature called me and I got up to go to the restroom. I left my iPad on my seat so it'll stay plugged in and put a notepad over it to try to cover it up somehow. My desk is a wide crescent shape with no drawers to keep my things safe, so this was the best I could do to somewhat hide it. I was in the restroom no longer than 3 minutes, but when I got back only my charger remained. My iPad, Apple Pencil were gone. I looked over to the lady who had her large purse suspiciously in her lap now, instead of on the floor beside her chair like it was before. I was panicked because a lot of my work is on that iPad that I needed. I went to my sales manager, and told him the situation. He told me he would take care of it, but to be patient for now. I went back to my desk full of anxiety, and my stomach was doing backflips. Sales manager went to the desk where entitled mother was to work out the deal. They're far enough that I can hear their voices, but no pinpoint of what they're saying. But I did hear her eventually yell, "How dare you? I would never steal. Do you want to lose this sale?" I immediately got up, went over behind the lady so sales manager could see me, but she couldn't. He tells her he understands, but my iPad went missing, and he wants to make sure no one currently in the building has it. That's when I remembered the Find My feature on all Apple iProducts. My iPad was connected to the Deaker's Wi-Fi. So I pulled out my iPhone and pressed play sound for my iPad. Her purse starts dinging. She tried to play it off as her ringtone, and sales manager stared at her as if daring her to answer it. Thing is, when the play sound feature, if I keep pressing it, it'll keep ringing. I made my presence known and told her to give my iPad back. That's when she stopped playing dumb and just said, "Just let nice girl have it. Her birthday's coming up and I can't afford a present for her since I'm getting this car." Sales manager said he was happy to cancel the deal so she can instead buy a birthday present for her child, and to return my iPad or he'll call the police. She practically threw my iPad at me, where it hit me in the gut and took nice girl from the waiting area to leave. Poor thing looked at me with the most apologetic look on her face before leaving with her mother. Sales manager might have helped me, but he's not exactly the nicest person. From now on, I'm not allowed to bring my iPad to the dealer. I have to either leave it in my car or leave it at home. Ugh, whatever. Entitled mother took my Apple Pencil with her since she left in a hurry, so I'm gonna stop by the Apple store after work to get a new one. But until then, I'm stuck with my pens and notepad. What's up guys, Mr. Reddito here. There's an update for this story. If you're enjoying the channel so far and you're enjoying this video, click that like button and consider subscribing. Here's the update. Hey y'all, it's been a stressful and anticlimactic week. I came back to work on my day off on Monday to talk to the police. Entitled mother apparently does not live in the county. She came here to try to buy a car that isn't available in her area. So they had to reach out to the police department there to talk to her. They took my info and told me to fill out a police report online so they can get started, which I did. The next day, the shooting in Texas happened. Rest in peace to those angels. So the police assigned to my case deemed it not important enough and placed it on hold to do a 2-day shooting drill that commenced the following day, Wednesday and Thursday. I finally got word back yesterday on Saturday that Entitled mother has been contacted and told to either give the pencil back or be charged with theft. I don't know what her reaction was, whether she went to the police or they went to her, or what kind of conversation they had, but I do know she handed over the pencil. 2 of her county cops just came into a dealer a few moments ago and gave me my pencil. They then told me that the next time, if I can do it myself, then confront the Entitled mother myself, and I was capable of doing so because of the info we had of her. However, they did say that they can proceed with the charges for theft if I wish to do so, but say I should think about her child and that she returned the pencil anyways. Honestly guys, I just don't want to make this political, but at this point I was exhausted and did not want to deal with the police or anyone in the legal system further. I just think the cops offered them coffee and sent them on their way. I really don't know if that was the proper procedure for police work, or if they were all stressed because of what happened on Tuesday. I live in a dominantly Hispanic area, and the tragedy hit us all exceptionally hard. I don't even have the energy to be angry anymore. I'm just really tired and happy to have my pencil back. Now I have 2. I'll probably give my newer one to my little cousin who wants to follow in my art footsteps. She doesn't have an iPad, but her sister does, so maybe she can let her use it, I don't know. I wish I had more juicy and righteous stories about how Entitled mother was arrested and paid me money because of stupid decisions she made. But the tragedy humbled me to my core. Well, I can understand at the end of the story why OP did not really want to keep pressing this and go ahead and press the charges. Mentally, OP was drained and just wanted to end the day. So yeah, I think Entitled mother should have had consequences for this, but I can also see where OP was coming from. Let me know in the comments down below. If you were in OP's position, how would you go about handling this? Would you go ahead and press charges like the OP eventually probably wanted to? Or would you just go with what the cops were saying and just let it slide since you got your pin back? Guys, I would love to hear your opinion on this. One of the comments said, "Sorry, did the cops actually say that next time? OP should have accessed the dealership files for personal information on someone and then go and confront them herself to get her stolen property back? That sounds spectacularly bad advice." Yeah, that did sound like bad advice from the cops. But let me know what you would do, comment section below. We're going to turn our attention to the final story of the day that comes absolutely complete with updates. 29-year-old male, soon-to-be ex-husband, seems to feel entitled to another chance with me, 28 female. My husband and I have been together for almost 8 years, married for 2.5 of those. Last May 2019, we separated seemingly overnight. He left me and our toddler and moved back to his hometown. There was never a solid reason given, just that he felt we should have never gotten married. In July, he changed his tune and wanted to be a family again. He was still at his job in his hometown, so I decided I would ride it out at my job in a different city for a couple of months to build my resume, and then start looking for other jobs in his hometown. After 6 months of a brutal commute, taking care of our child during the week, by myself, and driving to his hometown every weekend, interviewing and basically bending over backwards, I finally landed a great job in December. A week before I was to move into the new house we were buying together and start my new job, I found out he's been having an affair. He begged and pleaded me to stay with him, said he'll break off all contact, and I foolishly agreed to give him another chance. 2 days later, while I was back in a different city and completing my last week of work at my old job, he unblocked her on everything and liked her pictures on Instagram. I was devastated. On top of that shit show, he kicked me out of the house we were supposed to move in together, and I had to find a new place to live in 2 days before starting my new position. We've lived separately ever since. He has said and done so many hateful things in this time period and said so many times that he wants a divorce that I've lost count. Up until a month ago, he was still maintaining contact with her. I saw her car at his house, took pictures for lawyers, etc. And he admitted that he's been talking with her still. I stopped doing the pick-me dance about a month ago and stopped reaching out to him besides contacting about our children. Now, he's suddenly changed his tune and is, quote, desperate to get me back and will do anything. He has unfollowed her on everything once again, unliked all her pictures, and tells me not to give up on our family. I've moved on. I'm not interested in pursuing another relationship with him. He's hurt me deeply, and I feel like I've been ducked over by him so many times that I've lost count. How can I tell him there isn't a chance without sounding like I'm completely heartless? I still want to be able to maintain a strong co-parenting relationship with him. So I am friendly to him, but he seems to take that as I want him back. I've relayed to him my feelings, but they fall on deaf ears. He says he'll never stop trying to get our family back, and does not want a divorce. I do. Does anyone have advice? What's up, guys? Mr. Reddito here. Don't forget to drop your comments down below. Show a little bit of support by pressing that like button. There's a complete update for this story, so let's go ahead and hop right into it. Well, turns out my gut instinct was right. The entire time he was begging for another chance and promising, quote, this time would be different, cue eye roll. He was still sleeping with the affair partner and telling him he loved her and would do anything to make it work with her. It didn't even hurt me to find it out. I was that unsurprised. It just helped me to stop feeling guilty. I divorced his ass. I thank the universe every day that he's no longer connected to me in a romantic way. It feels like an enormous weight has been lifted off my shoulders. Shortly after my original post, I met someone by chance at a wedding and fell in love. This person is everything my ex-husband was not. The kindness, compassion, and respect they show not just me, but to my daughter as well, is something far from a dream. I never knew love could be so easy. To anyone in a loveless marriage reading this, leave. Do the hard thing, especially if they have a pattern of leaving, returning, and cheating. Lord knows I was terrified to cut the cord. At one point in time, I was actually starting to feel bad for the guy because he was begging me every single day for another chance. He tried to convince me that getting a divorce would ruin my future, our daughter's future, and that she would come from a broken family. But it was the exact opposite. It was broken already and I fixed it. Once I made up my mind that divorce was the best option, I absolutely thrived. I learned independence. I found how to be happy on my own. I found happiness in a partner. Life has never been so sweet. The bad shit makes the good shit so much better. Thank you guys for the support on my original post. It helped turn my graveyard into a garden. I just want to mention, I think the best line of this entire story was this. It was already broken and I fixed it. Man, what a perfect thing to say. Let's go ahead and take our look at one of the comments where OP replied. Let me guess. When he found out you found someone else, he started freaking out and saying you were breaking the family. I had a friend like this. He cheated constantly and then she found someone else. Suddenly, he was the victim crying to the friend group. He's not a friend anymore. This is when OP replied and said, he had a massive freak out when he found out I was seeing someone else. The irony is unreal. Then a bunch of other people were saying how they're not surprised, and honestly, every part of his behavior sounds like he never respected OP anyways. So yeah, that's it guys. Let me know your thoughts on this one in the comment section down below. That's all the content I have for you. Please subscribe to the channel and I'll catch you next time. See ya!